Who's spying on Muslim communities? Recently, America's largest Muslim civil rights and advocacy group, the Council on American Islamic Relations, or CAIR, said it identified two spies who were working for an infamous anti-Muslim organization, the Investigative Project on Terrorism, or IPT. It's a group that's been criticized by watchdogs like the Southern Poverty Law Center for its anti-Muslim rhetoric.
Council known as CAIR says it sacked a man on December the 15th after finding that he had passed confidential information to an anti-Muslim group. The same group was again named a week later. That's when an individual volunteering at a mosque told the council that he had been paid to provide information on the Muslim community. CAIR believes that the spying is aimed at creating fear and distrust among Muslims in the U.S.
CAIR says the spies have come forward and confessed to working with the IPT. And in the statement, it also said that one of the spies admitted to receiving $3,000 per month to record prominent Muslim leaders, and more than $100,000 over 4 years. All the money allegedly coming from the founder of the IPT, Stephen Emerson. Emerson has been described as Islamophobic and a vocal anti-Muslim extremist. The Center for American Progress, a liberal US think tank, says he and his group pushing to portray Islam as violent.
And in Britain, it's not just no-go zones. There are actual cities like Birmingham that are totally Muslim, where non-Muslims just simply don't go in. And parts of London, there are actually Muslim religious police that actually beat and actually wound seriously anyone who doesn't dress according to religious Muslim attire.
None of that has any truth, of course, and Emerson has since apologized for those Birmingham comments. And as for the spying accusations, he and his group denied both having an anti-Muslim agenda and monitoring the American Muslim community. Now let's get to the other man in question. The CAIR also identified the director of its own Ohio branch, Roman Iqbal, as a spy. He apparently confessed to spying after being confronted with evidence. He allegedly passed on confidential information to the IPT for 13 years. According to the Washington Post, for more than a decade, associates recalled Iqbal was Mr. Reliable, the one who could be counted on to show up to a soup kitchen, work a phone drive, or write a donation check. As the chapter's most senior official, associates said Iqbal was privy to the inner lives of local Muslims. He was a liaison to local mosques. Muslim law students turned to Iqbal, an attorney, for mentorship. CAIR says it worked with a forensic specialist to unravel what types of methods the IPT used to infiltrate Muslim American organizations using moles. The forensic specialist said that Iqbal had shared information including surreptitiously recorded conversations, strategic plans, and private emails with the IPT. And CAIR released some of the alleged email exchanges that took place between Iqbal and Emerson.
They say while they were shocked at what they believe was a betrayal by Iqbal, they were not necessarily surprised. They say civil rights groups have been seeing this throughout history.
When organizations are advocating for justice and doing good, you can't stop them. And so what you try to do is find out what they're doing and you try to undermine them. That is what IPT and Mr. Emerson were trying to do, and they failed. We have uncovered their plot, and we are taking all actions possible to make sure that they can never do this to another Muslim organization in this country.
CAIR has also accused the IPT of collaborating with Israeli officials. Citing evidence it gathered last year, CAIR said the IPT was communicating with and providing assistance to Israeli intelligence with the office of then Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. And to support its allegations, CAIR also released screenshots of an alleged email exchange between Emerson and some Israeli government officials. So what does all this spying and espionage really mean? According to the Washington Post, news of the breach sent tremors through national Muslim leadership circles, reviving fears about surveillance that began 20 years ago with the post-9/11 war on terror. And that activist said what happened to CARE was their nightmare scenario, a trusted insider tasked with Muslim civil rights work who allegedly was secretly working to undermine the community. We saw an example of this between 2002 and 2014 as part of the NYPD Muslim surveillance and mapping program, which monitored Muslim communities in New York City and nearby states. According to the American Civil Liberties Union, the NYPD's intelligence division used a variety of methods to spy on and monitor Muslim communities without any suspicion of wrongdoing, including mapping of Muslim communities, photo and video surveillance, and using police informants, among other methods.
An Associated Press investigation going back to 2011 documented that the NYPD used plainclothes officers to eavesdrop on people in bookstores, restaurants, and mosques, spying on Muslim neighborhoods, listening into sermons, and even photographing law-abiding residents.
Mosques should not be the subject of routine, massive surveillance.
The Associated Press report sparked protest against the city, led by then-Mayor Michael Bloomberg. It spurred a national debate over whether the department was infringing on civil rights.
CARE is now calling on anyone who helped the IPT or any other hate groups to come forward and not wait to get exposed. Perhaps some others will answer the call, but even if they don't, the unraveling of moles within CARE has brought our attention to a major problem: the underhanded surveillance of the Muslim community. None of us know its exact scope and who else could be behind it, and this may well be just the tip of the iceberg.